Welcome to this screencast for ISYS2356 Knowledge Management Technologies. This is my reflection on this piece of learning, and as you can see here is the URL for the compound document that I've had to produce. The compound document is really a document that not only has its own content but pulls content from other documents. So in terms of a website, it might have a video or images or something like that embedded in it from other websites. This was the final piece of learning for this subject that I did in semester 2 in 2010 at RMIT in Melbourne. In terms of the time, it probably took me about 2 or 3 weeks of planning, but actually sitting down and doing it took about 10 hours to go from scratch to this. I'm pretty happy with my output. I didn't design this. I actually took a template from one of the open web template places and just customized it. All these colors, mouse overs and stuff were there. Certainly the content is all mine, and worked out how to do some stuff with the links. What I did was I wrote the content from the software for the website first in Google Docs. I actually used this software called Drag and Natural Speaking, which what you do is it's voice to text recognition. So you're speaking into this and it translates on the screen what you're saying to the words. I'm not doing this right now, but that's basically how it works. It was my first experience. It learns your voice, but I was basically able to produce like about 8,000 words in 3 hours, which is what you see on the website here. So it's not to say the content on this website or the text doesn't need a bit more proofreading. I think ideally you'd have a bit of a workflow where an editor in a professional organisation might look at that before you publish it or it goes to draft. But for my purposes, it was good just to play with that and also to get something up. So I wrote all the content and then looked for an appropriate way to display that. Basically what I wanted was like, here's my sections, and then I wanted subpages or a way to like drill down within each section. So maybe another option was to have the nav here and then a sub nav, but we didn't get into that. Only very basic level. Like we didn't look at nav divs or anything like that. I know what they are now, but I don't quite know how to do it. Depending on the browser you're looking at, this is how it should look. And also there's an opportunity of feedback, which is welcome here, and also on Twitter. So here goes. One of the things I've seen, or when I first saw the web, I was like, oh, what if someone gets your signature? And I know there's issues at RMIT around privacy and all that sort of stuff, information theft, but I don't know, I thought I'd just play with that. I've certainly seen other people do it and try and think and figure out the emotion associated with that, with having that kind of content there. You can see this is in a live environment, but it won't be there forever. So depending on when you look at this screencast, it may or may not be there, but this is the URL. So here's my 3 sections. Well, I kind of cheated a little bit. I thought about one of the things we had to do was organise the structure. Well, I just basically used the academic structure that John, our lecturer, had given us. But as a way of doing that, it actually forced me to write about all these different things, which I should have probably done in first semester but didn't. So that's what I've done. There's, I've used things like images here, bolding from the HTML. This is a H1, this is a H2 tag. Worked out how to certainly change the link color and hover over with CSS, worked out how to do that. Don't quite like how this works on the heading. I know it's a CSS thing, but I just haven't had time to undo it. I want these links certainly to operate like this, but this one should probably stay a bit more of a formatting like this as opposed to having that same funky link thing. Yeah, I had to work out how to do these references. This is what we have to do in the code. So put some double and core metadata in there. Certainly name the pages. So my page numbers there. Had a couple of dead ends in terms of this one here and this one here. I had to do twice. I found the software we were using, which was a Maya by W3 Schools. It was a little bit buggy. So I worked out how to label different parts within a document, and then down the track, like link to these, that sort of stuff. So I was quite happy with it. Really, it took a little bit to figure out, but I was happy that I've been able to learn something. So I've also used the top thing. So because some of these pages are quite long, just a way of navigating through. Here's this sub-level that I wanted in my template, just as a way to navigate here. So if I didn't have this section, I could probably, it would work okay with this. So, but again, that was maybe an extra that took a little bit of time to work out. But now that I know about it, I've done it, I can do it. It's another skill. So the learning there, different goals for this course, pretty general about why I started studying this program at RMIT, how the site's organised. So this page here, I've got some links, references to, you see down the bottom there where I got the template from. There's also links to other work we've done. So here was a styling thing with XML and style sheets. There's also a link to some other work. So this is the web page that I did in class. It did have some CSS around the table, but I'm not sure what's happened to that. I wanted like a little bit fancier, but this is kind of the level that I'm at from raw. But one of the good things about doing this course is I had the confidence to take a template and hack around in it without breaking it, and at least having some kind of indication of what I did. This is a link to my previous assignment, and which had a lot of kind of template problems. I did this on Blogger, but this is really the footy here, and it just keeps stuffing up. There's my reflection on the previous one, and this navigation, which is supposed to be where we saw the footer, just kept displaying down here. So some of the feedback I got was that this one was a little bit hard to navigate, and I kind of understand why. There's some of the things, because I've used that text to voice, it's really just speaking my mind, so not all of it is kind of what I would call professional standard content, but yeah, it's interesting. I think it suffices the requirements, what we have to do here. The other thing that I did while doing this is, because we started this assignment at the Web 2 adventure and kind of learned some technical skills. We'll just see how quick my net is. But I've kind of dubbed this my Web 1 adventure. Wanted to go back through and just document like the learning. So I'm not sure if this is going to load up. Should be, but there's the URL anyway, and basically every time I captured an error or found a good resource, something that I needed to look at, I just put a quick blog post on this blog as a way of just capturing that knowledge. So there's some resources there, such as Designing Interfaces book, which I found quite good. There's also like links to the software I used, and Maya, tried to use Microsoft Expression Web, and also what else? Some mind mapping software just to help with the initial layout. So there's posts around that. You might find that useful. And I think that's pretty well it. There's some links there. I'm not quite sure what's happening to my connection, but and just to show you where I started. So this is my first HTML thing, and this is just raw coding. This is what my page first looked like. You can see it loads pretty quickly, unlike that WordPress thing, but just playing with headings. Again, different colours, a few different things, structural tags, and then resulting in producing a document like that. You can see what I've eventually been able to do. It's much better than that, but that's kind of like from raw skill, that's kind of where I'm at. But in terms of applying those skills to a different context, this is what I've been able to do. So yeah, really happy with how it's all figured out, and I hope you've learned something or found this screencast useful.